What's up, everybody? It's Bam Ericson for AfterBuzz TV for Power Season 6, Episode 4, titled, Why is Tommy Still Alive? And Black Grimace is in the building. Let's go!
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV.
What's happening?
The
there you are.
ESPN of TV
What's going on?
Now, let the buzz begin.
I'm Bam Ericson, and I would like to introduce the panel. I would like to introduce to my left, we have Jill Munroe.
Is your football team 2-0? That's my question to everyone right now.
All right, and next to Jill, we have Jimmy V.
It's your man Jimmy V. What's happening?
And joining us live from New York, he plays the role of Black Grimace. Please welcome to AfterBuzz for the first time, Avery Mason.
Hey.
In the building.
Yo, and Peep, he's wearing he's got a Power 6 mug.
Official merchandise.
You know what I'm saying? Can't get that anywhere.
Wow.
Little bit.
Y'all didn't see the sneakers yet, did you?
No, what sneakers?
Y'all got sneakers?
Oh yeah, Courtney sent everybody sneakers.
Oh, I saw Nike ID, right?
Yeah.
I saw them.
Okay.
They're hot. Yeah.
The red sneakers sprinkled with like some blood on it. Yep.
So before we're done, can you ask your wife or little Junior if he can go grab your sneakers? Because I want to see this.
Shit?
Yeah, I want to see them. Okay, but first question that we want to ask: what's your take on this whole theme song issue?
Great question.
So I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion here. I actually did like the new theme song with Trey Songz. I kind of agree with 50, man. You know, sometimes, it's nothing wrong with freshening things up. It's a song that had been around for quite a few years, and you want to get a fresh new take on it. And it was a fresh new take, and unfortunately, a lot of people didn't really like the freshness of it.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay, so now let's get into tonight's last night's episode. So the first question that's on my notes is, please help me understand how Tupid in every episode attempts to pull out a gun and shoot Black Grimace, but in other times they talk as if everything's okay. I don't understand. Like, why haven't you beat this? How come you haven't beat him down? Like, what's going on?
I think that so Black Grimace is not a fighter. I don't know if you know this from watching previous seasons. He's more into the money aspect of things. I personally feel he's not. His first choice wouldn't be to fight. Also, Tommy is the boss. You understand what I'm saying? So when he says something, people talk about other people being loyal, but Black Grimace follows, the rules to the T.
That is true. Yeah.
Say, it don't go down like that. He's not gonna fight or argue with him, and that's just how he is. I
definitely agree with that, and there has been times when I have criticized Black Grimace for being a little
soft.
Yeah,
soft, a
little soft, but
a little cushiony.
Yes, but one thing that we can say is that he's very loyal. He's very loyal to Tommy. He's really the last man standing. I feel like you and Victor kind of were the ones. You guys were kind of like the duos in the beginning, where it was like you two were the loyal. Victor's not there anymore, so now it's you last man standing. And it just bothers me how these other two little Negroes come into the picture.
No respect.
And there's just no respect. And it's like, why? I hope you kill him. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow, you like to kill a lot of people on the show, man.
I watch this show, that is his thing.
Everybody
I do like to kill him, but I feel like 2-Bit Francis is so conniving and is so manipulative. If you don't kill him, he's going to kill Black Grimace.
I do believe 2-Bit has visions of grandeur. He kind of reminds me this season of how Dre was a couple seasons ago when he was working under Ghost, and he was like, "Look, man, I can help you do this. I can help you do this. I could do it for you. I'm your guy." He's like way too hungry. You know what I mean? So hunger makes people do a lot of crazy things, and I think he wants Black Grimace, maybe his spot, maybe.
Okay.
Right. Avery, what's the backstory on this lung problem that you have?
He only got a kidney.
Or some type of organ?
So I don't know if you guys can tell, or maybe you can't. A lot of the stuff we do on set is improv. All right, so
we had that question for you.
So I want to say the first big shout out to Matt Turner. He wrote this week's episode, and also to Karen Hawks, who was the director. They did a very good job, and Matt wrote a very good episode. Occasionally, sometimes Courtney will allow us to add things to the episode. So we were in the back going over the sides for the scene, and we were just messing around with the lines. It was me, Mike Ferguson plays 2-Bit, and Omar Scroggin Spanky, and we were just messing around with the lines, getting loose, getting into character, and we were joking around, and he said his line where he's like, what were they out of Big Macs, whatever, Slim Grim, and I just said, hey, y'all messed up, man. I got one kidney. It was just something I just randomly said within the character of Black Grimace, and they laughed, and they were like, yo, you should say that. You should say that. And I said, you sure? I don't want to get in trouble here. I'm not like on the top of the totem pole. I don't, They were like, no, do it. So we did it in front of 50. He liked it. They brought the crew and the rest of the lighting and everybody else in to see the scene. They all laughed. Like, we were doing the scene, they laughed. Like, I've never seen that happen. So they let us keep it, and it stayed in the episode.
So then I dig. So in a couple episodes, when you guys had saw Lala's character, Lakeisha, she walked in, and there was a comment made about her ass. Was that in the script, or was that improv?
No, that was scripted. I mean, Lala's beautiful, but I don't think you really have to like. It's not really. You don't really have to write that in a script. You could look at her and say, yeah, but that was scripted.
Okay.
The live chat, really quick, wanted to know if you took acting at John Dewey High School, Brooklyn represent.
That's somebody who knows me. I didn't.
They're shouting you out. They're in here.
Brooklyn
They're
in the
building. Brooklyn in the building, and they said, "What up?" Holding it down. So, can we get a little bit of backstory on BG's character? Bam obviously thinks he's a little soft for the drug game. He seems to be a gentle giant. What's with him? Has he always been down with the streets? Do we know? Does he have desires to be a big guy on campus? Well, not campus, big guy on the street.
Yeah.
I don't know if the show has ever really gone digging into Black Grimace's story. What we do know is that Black Grimace likes money and he likes dressing nice. He is, in my opinion, I know the writers might have some different. Black Grimace he looks serious and he looks tough, but I just think he doesn't take the job as seriously as he should. He's afraid of Tommy, but I think he's just enjoying the ride. Like, oh great, I get all this money, I get to wear these nice clothes, and I get to, I get to carry a gun. This is cool. I don't think he
likes the lifestyle.
I don't think he's really a killer. It's like, I ain't a killer. Don't push me. If Tommy said to kill somebody, he probably would do it because he's a goon. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I don't think personally that Black Grimace he wasn't built for the business. He just happened to, hey, you know what? They're hiring. Okay, I'll take the job.
Mm-hmm. So, what is it that you can tell me without being fired, or potentially being in the sequel, about what's going on with Tommy and his crew, his organization? What can you tell us?
I think there are some growing pains going on in Tommy's organization right now, from what you can see. Last season, we lost a couple of key characters, and everybody just kind of came together. So, in my opinion, there's growing pains going on right now. A lot of character not meshing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of personality conflicts, and that's what you're seeing is happening. A lot of people have different ways of doing things, and I think that's maybe that's going to play out as the season goes on. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any?
Was that good? You guys like? I wanted more. And I'm like,
that was good. Do we have any questions from the fans in the chat room before we move on?
No, they just keep saying big up to Brooklyn and asking about you and 2-Bit's little.
Brooklyn is definitely in the house, man.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is in the building. They're representing, and they just want to know more about what's going on with you and 2-Bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like there's just beef, man. 2-Bit is got a short temper, and Black Grimace is going to light that fuse every time. It seems like he can't do anything right, or he used to stay on his good side of me. Y'all saw the last episode. They talking about the heist, and he's, he made one comment, and Grim actually stood up for himself, which I liked. Yeah, I'm not gonna take that from you. You don't know me. Like, yo, chill. What do you think? And he's like, you saw the look he gave him. Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, I'm gonna do this, and Grim was like, word, you about that life, and they had to break it up. So we'll see what happens.
So I want to ask a couple questions now about you, Avery Mason, the actor. So your first TV credit was for The Good Wife.
That's right. Yeah, it was when I had a hairline. Yeah.
So
this is barber. Folks.
Courtney Kemp.
God is my barber.
Courtney Kemp was some type of showrunner, or she was involved in that show in some way. So did you working with Courtney on The Good Wife, did that lead to your role for Black Grimace on Power?
That's a great question. And no, I didn't. When I did The Good Wife, that was just a day player thing. I didn't actually get to meet her. I didn't meet Courtney until season 2. Little bit of backstory how I got the part of the show. I was doing a background on the show, and I got a featured role. Let's see. Well, I already said season 2, but Bam, do you remember? Can you remember what episode it was?
I feel like I remember you in the pilot episode with you and Victor when you guys. No, that's not it. Okay.
Anybody else?
I don't know.
It was season 2. Ghost had come to the laundromat to get money from Julio.
Okay.
To give to Lobos, and the guy that opened the door was me. Well, it was me, but it wasn't Black Grimace at the time.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
So if you go back to like season 2, I think. I'm not sure the episode, but I definitely remember that was like my first appearance.
Got it. So, were you doing background? Were you doing background in season 1, and then you got that part for season 2, or season 2 was it?
No, season 2 was my first part on the show, and they liked me, so they brought me back for a couple more. If you go back to season 2, watch a couple things, you'll see me. And I met Courtney in one of those episodes. It was just very random. I really did not know the folks on the show. I was just happy to be there. I was talking to people, and I bumped into this lady. Very nice. She tells me you have a very nice look. You're very professional. I like what you're doing. I was like, thank you very much. And then like 5 minutes later, someone's like, yo, what did she say to you? What did you do? And I thought I was in trouble. And I was like, she just said I was doing a good job and she liked my look. And they were like, okay, cool. You know who that is? And I'm like, no. She's like, that's the showrunner. Who? Courtney Kemp. Oh. And it was scary because I was like, I thought I did something wrong, but then I found out I did great. And they asked me to come in and audition for a part they thought might be really good for me, and I auditioned, and the rest is history.
Wow, man!
Wow.
Hey, that is a dope story.
Right.
And congrats to you for sticking in there, because with you being a day player, getting a co-star credit on The Good Wife prior to that, but then still being humble enough to, when you're in New York, to do background work, where the background pay and the co-star pay are completely two different pay scales. But the fact that you allowed yourself to be humbled, you were blessed with the bigger opportunity. So wow, congratulations on that.
Yeah, things were slow after The Good Wife. I really didn't get the kind of work I thought I would, so I'm just like, you know what? I want to stay in the scene. I want to stay in the vibe. You know what I'm saying? I want to stay on set and keep learning and keep growing. And I was fine with it. I'm like, nobody else paying my bills but me, so
Okay,
do what I gotta do.
So a couple questions, and then I'm gonna let you go. So you went to University of Albany to become a journalist. What type of journalist did you want to come before you dropped out to begin the acting?
Oh no, sir! I didn't drop out. I definitely finished.
Okay, my bad.
Shout out to that education, that journalism degree.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't finish my journalism degree. I thought you would have to get a journalism degree to go into radio, because what I wanted to do was radio. Okay. And I was like, well, I gotta go get this journalism degree so I can do radio. I didn't know that, so I stopped doing the journalism, and I found the college station. I kept doing radio at the college station. I changed my major to African Studies and English. And that's what I graduated with, a BA in African Studies and English.
Got it. 2 more questions. Is your son old enough to watch you on Power?
Yeah, he is, but I don't want to let him see the show with me yet.
Okay.
He does recognize Daddy on screen because I do some other things. I let him see it, but I don't know if I want to let him watch the show. It's a little too violent, you know? And he might be like, Daddy, what's happening? He's like, Daddy, what's happening? What's going on, Daddy? And I was like, no, change the channel. You can't watch it just yet. You're not ready.
Okay.
Finish potty training.
Got it. Final question is, you're also a stand-up comedian.
Yes, sir, I am. Yes, sir, I am. Been doing it since 2013. Side note, before I know where you're going. Quick question. Quick quick update here. September 25th, I'm going to be at Caroline's on Broadway at 7:30 p.m. For everybody watching right now in New York, you want to come see me, come check me out. Caroline's on Broadway, September 25th and September 27th at the Creek in the Cave in Queens.
As far as a set goes, man, how many minutes do you have? A half-hour set? What you got?
Why, you want to come out and watch me, man? You want to get your money's worth?
If I'm on the East Coast, I just might pull up on you.
I mean, he is from Boston.
I got half of what you need. I ain't got a Dave Chappelle hour, but I got a Rodney Dangerfield half. You know what I'm saying? I got a Bernie Mac 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
You laugh.
Okay, so before we let you go,
all right.
Final question. Does Black Grimace kill 2-Bit or Spanky?
We took that big swig of,
all right.
of his drink and flashed that power.
Yeah. Well, my fingers crossed says please kill his ass.
Ooh, which one?
Either just take them all out. Like I'm not feeling 2-Bit and Spanky. You know, this whole double team thing. Black Grimace has been the most loyal, and it bothers me how this dude always wants to pull a gun on somebody. Like he's weak, he's whack, and I hope that Black Grimace shoots his ass.
2-Bit has been very flashy with the whole get the strap.
Yeah.
We do need to see some strap.
Street strong. Street strong. He's just not brain strong. He's just violence is the first option because that's how he grew up. You know, he's friends with Dre, man. Them dudes, that's violence for them, first option. But Black Grimace is about that money. They ain't gonna mess that money up. That's one thing you can guarantee. Is the best worker. If this was McDonald's, Black Grimace would be the shift manager. That's what I'm trying to say.
So let everyone know where you could be found on social media.
Yes, sir. So if you guys would like to follow me, Brooklyn is already following me. You might as well join on in. I'm at Big Kev Comedy on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. I also got a YouTube channel, which I kind of got to update. It's not much stuff on there, but follow me there too. Why not? And check me out at Caroline's on September 25th at 7:30. Bro, you should come too. We're going to talk about that champion jersey. What team is that? There's no champion team in the NFL.
Just the drip, bro. Just the drip. That's all.
Just the drip. Okay, so listen, we want to thank Avery for stopping by, chatting with us. Thank you so much. We had heard that you watch our show, and so we're just grateful that, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and much success to you, and congrats on everything, and for just having the will and the drive to do what you do, and look at what happened. Look at what has happened, due to just being humble.
Dude, I appreciate you guys. Y'all show has grown so much. I do remember watching in season 3. I was hoping y'all would say my name at some point, but it never did happen. I was just Tommy beat up one of his goons, and I was like, just say my name. But it's all good. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and the fans love it. I mean, just look at the views and the comments and interactions. So you guys keep doing your thing. Much respect, much props, and next time y'all on my side on East Coast, come out and check me out. Make sure I have a good time.
Wonderful.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. I'll see you later. Thank you so much.
All right, bro.
All right. Okay, so
Shout out to Avery.
I like him, man.
Yes, that was so cool, and we saw each other at the premiere in New York, and we was like, hey, can we get you on? And he's like, man, I watch all the time. So just that's always great. Okay, so moving along with episode 4, why is Tommy still alive? So now, Ghost sees dead people. So Angela, everything went wrong. Ghost is trying to be the man she wants him to be. Angela says it wasn't Tommy, it was him, and that he's always choose Tommy over her. Ask if she was a female witness, what would happen to her. Says he is not guilty enough to what happened to her, and questions then why is Tommy still alive. So now I predicted that Ghost would actually have hallucinations of Angela. So now that I've seen it, I don't like it. What do you think?
I don't like it as well.
Hate it. I don't need the inner dialogue. I saw on the Confidential after show, Courtney mentioned this is the way that we get to see Ghost grieve. Why couldn't he just grieve?
But okay, so listen.
I mean, I understand the point of it because we're seeing his guilt come out, and that he does, we never see Ghost sort of take responsibility for his actions. So we see he feels bad. He knows he puts Angie in this position, and this is really all his fault. But how many times are you gonna have to see Angie in that red dress?
So, like I said, I saw this coming, but I'm saved and sanctified. I don't personally, I don't believe in that whole talking to the dead type thing. When you saved and you filled with the Holy Ghost, you don't believe in that type of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I hear people say things like, they've seen their dead aunt or grandmother. I ain't never seen no shit like that before. So it's hard for me to really grasp somebody talking to someone who's dead. That's just me.
One thing specifically is Angela's dialogue. It's got me tripping now because I feel like she's talking in circles. One thing that she was like, oh, you always choose Tommy over me, and then obviously Ghost made the attempt, and then she's like, I never told you to go and kill Tommy. And then later on in the episode, she goes, you're gonna end up killing blah blah blah. So it's just, as a viewer, I'm confused.
But okay, so I do now. Let me explain why I think that happens. Because remember, she's dead, so she's playing with his emotions about things. So it's not real. So basically, what Ghost is, these are all the things that Angela's saying are probably things that are running through his mind, because
like it's his subconscious.
Yeah, it's his inner. I mean, that's what I think. Drac. I don't know how to say that last name. Tinbrus? Drac? We're just going to say Drac. Wants to know, why doesn't he see Raina? Why no visions of Raina?
Because
great question.
I mean, we know why.
Petty Pablo's ready.
Go ahead, Petty.
Nobody gives a fuck about Raina.
Really? Yeah.
She was not important. Listen, this like we've said before. There's 4 stars in this series. There's Ghost, Tommy, Angela, and Tasha. Those are the 4, and their whole lives wrecked once Angela came into the picture and he fell in love with his old girlfriend. Yeah. Sorry, Raina. That was one of the reasons why I predicted that she had to die. She wasn't important. She wasn't important. So that's to answer your question.
Not my question.
So anything else before we move on, before Jill, you start talking about Kate?
I don't have anything. Just I hope that we don't see this continued for the next several episodes. We got it in this one.
And it's like I'm all about keeping Leela employed, so they gave her, a part, but it's just not fitting.
She has another job.
Yeah,
Check her out on Altered Carbon when that comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's talk about Kate and Lakeisha and their bonding moment. Girl talk.
Bonding? But yes, go ahead, yeah.
It was bonding. I felt like it was good for Lakeisha. She, could ask some questions. Everybody wants to be nosy to find out what the other chick was about, even though she kind of met Holly. And I thought it was good. Kate almost seemed, dare I say, not normal, because that would be a stretch, but she seemed, regular, like she wasn't being a super evil or super, prickly with her. I felt like she was just having a real conversation.
I thought it was very foreshadowing-y, especially with especially with the line, things don't work out well.
I don't think she has a problem with Lakeisha. She probably, ate some of her good cooking and so forth. I don't think she has a problem with Lakeisha. The problem is she is just not right for her child.
She recognizes, she knows.
She knew immediately.
And the whole thing. Sorry, little actor that played Chase. Is that?
Chase,
yeah.
That was a struggle moment. But Lakeisha going out to go beat up the boys on the block, Kate had a point. We don't know how this is going to impact Tommy and come back to your house. You do need to go out and defend your child, but I don't know if...
Cash.
Okay, Cash. I don't know if going out on the block and beating up the kids yourself,
solves the actual
is the right
problem.
thing.
But also, too...
That's... I don't want to say that's a hood thing, but a lot of parents, feel that way.
Yeah, I get that. But my point is, you're a G when it's some little kids, but you cowering at the door when the police came. And Kate had a point. Of course she's going to put her son first, as any mother would, and as she should. But this life doesn't call for that. And it's not going to work because we already know that she's a punk. Kate can smell it. And Tommy just, needs somebody to be there. It's really sad. And she had a point. Everybody Tommy loves ends up dead, except for Ghost.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Kate slipped and said when Tommy was like, well, it can't be because she's black, and then Kate slipped up and said, that she raised a black son. So
I didn't really read anything
I did.
behind it.
You think that she's his mom?
I did, because some years ago, I had this theory that that I had heard. Well, my theory was similar, but the theory that I got was a little more defined. It was from this podcast of these two guys from New York, and I gave the specific breakdown of it. I don't remember all what I said. I just remember that Tommy's dad, and so the past of Tommy is his dad was a club owner. I believe that Kate was a dancer, possibly a stripper, or working at the club where Ghost's dad was, and they had an affair together. And I don't remember what else I said, but I feel like that is what that's what has brought Tommy and Ghost together. But with Kate saying that she raised a black son now makes me go back to the theories, because every time that I've mentioned every time that I've mentioned it to like Courtney and to Shannon and to some other people, they either look at me in a weird way, they ignore me, like there's something about when I mention that whole theory that I had, that there could be some truth to it. So the fact that she said that she raised a black son, it obviously has to be Ghost. So we know everybody's past. We know Tommy's past, but we don't know Ghost's past except that his father was a club. We don't know about the mama and so forth. So that means something, because Kate, whenever Kate comes, she's always messy and she's always dropping some type of tea or something. So I just think that it means something, and I have to remember. I have to remember what I said specifically about it.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, it could have been just an example of, you two are like brothers. He was in my home thing, or maybe you're onto something.
Okay.
We will see. All right. Now we have to discuss Lindsay, Cooper Sachs, and Proctor,
which might have been the best storyline of the whole episode, but go on.
Right. So obviously, because Proctor's a good dad and he sends the baby out of the room when stuff is popping off, nothing turned up on the recording in the Little Unicorn, but Lindsay being almost abusive to her daughter, calling her little B and all of that. What did you guys think about that? Like, she's still a mess, even sober. She's still a mess.
She's still a mess. And remember, although this is 6 seasons, but as Courtney says, that all of this has taken place within like a couple of months. So for her to get, there's movie references of I can't think of, but it takes a long time to get. It takes a long time to get clean before you don't relapse. So I mean, you can tell that Lindsay had an ulterior motive. So it only makes sense that she's not really trying to be a parent. She's just trying to get back. She's completely trying to get back.
So Proctor set her up. I thought it was genius.
Because
you missed it. Yeah, you missed it. I was looking for notes. He set her up. He slipped the letter in the mailbox. I don't think Lindsay failed the bar. Proctor faked that letter in the mailbox, and there's no fiance or potential fiance. He was doing that to send her over the edge so she would start using drugs. Exactly. I don't think that he thought she was going to OD that night, but he just wanted to get her messed up so that there was no way a judge could give custody to the kid.
And then as Proctor was walking out of the crib, he turned back, and that was that signal, I was the one in charge of this whole thing. And then boom,
So
how did I miss
Bam
that?
is out
when
of
they
his
were
seat.
waiting. When they were waiting outside, they were waiting for it to come up. He slipped it in the mail. That's why he was like, "What's wrong? Everything okay?" And his whole attitude changed. I mean, again, I don't think that. I can't be mad at him. Well, I can't. Wow. You're not supposed to let anybody overdose. But I can't be mad at him. I know he had to think that through because he probably just wanted her sick, but that's still your mother's child and you're doing it when your child's in the house. There were just my questions about that. Are you just going to grab the daughter and leave her and she's not going to see her mom slumped over on the couch?
Right. And then my question becomes, because we saw the bag on the couch because the camera panned to the bag. So is he going to be the one to blame now for her death?
Well, see,
there's a couple of things with that. I feel like, here's the thing. She dies. Yes, Sachs is going to be trying to get that little device back, but one,
How's he gonna find it? How's he
gonna get in there to get in the place?
Yeah.
It's on the daughter's thing. It just kind of, it could come back later, but it falls to the wayside almost because there wasn't anything on there to begin with. He's thinking.
Well, the dialogue that Proctor says, I'm not gonna allow you to take my daughter. I feel like that's something that could be
come
used.
up.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's enough. I don't feel like it's enough because at some point he does have to call 911 because she's
Very
dead.
true.
So when he calls, he's a lawyer. He could, come up with something. So I feel like that is dead in the water.
Yeah,
But
I do too.
why would they pan over to the bag though? That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, because they're going to think about it, and of course, they're going to want to, maybe Sax is looking for it, and he, makes threats of what he may think. Because we've seen Cooper's been way off in what he's kind of pulling together these past couple of episodes. He's focusing in one area, and things are really going on to the left. And because he's not looking at the picture with a clear head, he misses things. So, I mean, it's going to come up because they looked at it for a reason, but how relevant it will be, they could try and use it against
So
them.
that makes sense. I thought the way the letter was worded, it says notice of failure
of the bar.
I feel like that's kind of odd to normally. I feel like the wording of it would be different, but damn, wow.
Well, that's why, especially too, when Proctor came back in the second scene, she was rambling off things off the test, as if she was like studying again, which he knew,
So then that means Proctor probably went and grabbed the letter and, damn, okay, that was good.
Yeah.
All right,
that was good. Moving on.
So Proctor, Dre, and Ghost. So Ghost is ready to kill Dre. You have the new Eastern District has a new attorney, and he's putting this new RICO case against Tommy, Tasha, Ghost, and Proctor. Dre reveals that there is still a female witness, the Suarez girl. So then Proctor tells Ghost that we can use Dre to control the narrative since he has to report back about Ghost's whereabouts. Ghost agrees, and Dre is to wear a wire and tell them that Ghost is innocent. So are we shocked that Dre didn't exactly follow the orders?
Not shocked at
of
all.
course.
No.
So what is your thoughts on Ghost not killing Suarez and then giving her money with gloves on, but he didn't use gloves when he was in Club Truth?
Beat me right to the point.
I was so mad when he was coming in the
apartment. We got finessed, guys. Okay.
Not even that. When he was coming into the apartment, I felt like it was one of those old, scary movies where you see the killer walking up and he's moving all slow and he pulls the gloves out of his pocket. I'm like, that's dumb. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I get it. Maybe you're covering for your fingerprints, but she saw you. She knows it's you. So her ID has to count for something. It just, Ghost with a heart, I guess, and coming to give her money and do with it what you will.
And this is where the whole.
But I felt like it might have been a setup for Dre too. But that's a big risk to take.
Yeah. But this is where you're gonna see Ghost do stupid things, killing Tommy in broad daylight. Like he's not thinking rationally because he really is messed up in the head that Angela's dead and that his best friend, his brother, who he lived with in an apartment somewhere in the Bronx with him and his Tommy's mom. What I think. Right. So I feel like that's where they're going with this, and you see Ghost is now he's really messing up a lot. So that's what I take from that.
I was not a fan of the first scene when it was Ghost, Proctor, and Dre, because Ghost is so I don't want to deal with him. As soon as they bring up the daughter, he switches up. Okay, so now I want you to wear a wire, blah blah blah.
Well, it was the daughter, obviously Raina, and then also because Proctor just made a lot of sense. Proctor says, I'm on the line, and plus, we can really make this we can really make this work. So Ghost saw the feds in the rearview mirror, and so he knows that Dre. So like he does for two things that he does stupid. He's smart when it comes to certain things. He's smart when it comes to Tate, and he's smart when it comes to Dre. But when it comes to like Tommy and some of the other things, he doesn't think as rational.
I'm gonna say I'm not sure if he is smart when it comes to Dre, because there is also the scene where it's Ghost and Jason and they're talking inside of Club Truth, and Dre's upstairs listening to everything that they're actually saying, and the topic of the conversation is being Jason's distro, and I think Dre picked up on that, like, oh, okay.
But they're very true. But also in that scene, which we'll just go to it now. With that particular scene, Ghost made it very clear. He said it to Jason. He said it to Jason's crew. He's like, "F you,
out the game.
I'm out the game. Kill. What you gonna do? Kill me?" Like at this point, he doesn't care if he lives or dies because Angela's gone. So for me, that scene was more powerful because he was basically just saying, "I don't care who's around. F you, I'm not doing this." Point blank. Okay, so Tasha and Ramona Garrett, should she have gone to Ramona to spill their marriage business between she and Ghost about Ghost signing her name on the fund for Raina?
Well, she was going to Tate, but Ramona happened to be there, and she's controlling it. You know, I'm unsure where Ramona stands. Is this about Tate or is this about, I'm kind of checking for Ghost? The advice she gave Tasha wasn't wrong per se, but it's a little flippant to just say, well, get your own money and get over it. I did. Different situation. She literally lost her child. I mean, so I just kind of feel like for Ramona to just be in the mix and to be so dismissive of her
and then
seems strange.
Tasha made a great point. You don't have a child, so you can't understand the shoes that I'm actually in.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Tasha, Quentin Q. Wallace, this open discussion. So,
Quentin is the feds or something.
Yeah. I've never seen a dude fall in love so fast. Like he's ready to go to war for Tasha over a kissing scene.
And that's why he's the feds.
Like, what?
Okay, before we even talk about that, no kids one day, full of kids the next day. I understand there were some kids in the apartment, but really, literally like that.
Daycare popping
3 days.
And who's taking their kid to a daycare where the owner has a bottle of champagne just waiting in her desk to pull out in the back and crack open with a stranger? I mean, come on.
Good point, Joe. Good point.
So I'll just drag Tasha just for a couple seconds.
Here we go.
So, you know, Q, he's suspect. He's very suspect as hell because the daycare was not open and then the windows were covered and he just walks in, right?
Just walking in.
So he just walks in. Then he comes in again the next day and then this time she has office, you know, so that was already an issue. And then once okay, so this is my problem with Tasha. And I've said this before. Tasha, Tommy, and Ghost all have weaknesses. Tasha's weakness as to why she's not she's not
the boss lady?
The boss is because she did get in her way.
No, come on, Bam. How are you gonna? Here's the thing. No.
I'm gonna finish it. So go ahead.
Because hello, Ghost alters the whole plan, screws everything up behind vagina. So therefore, it's a flaw they all have. Tasha's, to this point, her situations haven't physically resulted in a mess up. All the problems that have come from her situations are because Ghost can't make up his mind. I don't want you, but nobody else can have you, and he gets in the mix.
Okay.
It doesn't skew her thought process or her thinking.
To me, it does, and the reason that it does skew her process is because, first of all, you allow a man that you don't know to come into your place of business, and it's a daycare, right? So that's number one. And then number two, on the second day, when he comes back after you do the exchange of the numbers, then you have a bottle of wine. I just have to be blunt. You don't know this nigga.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you don't know him. And yes, Tasha is a boss and so forth, but the reality is he's a guy. It's fucking creepy that he comes into her place of business that is not open.
We haven't seen his daughter yet.
We haven't seen her. We have not seen the daughter. And the reality is this: if Tasha doesn't shoot him point blank, you don't know what this dude can do. That shit is not safe. It's just dangerous, and he's creepy, and it's just not cool to be having some grown ass to have some just coming into your place of business. It's stupid.
I agree. I'm
You
gonna
make a good point. man.
again bring this back to the writers are trying to speed things along and get us to a place quickly. Obviously, he's going to play more into the situation because he's too pressed and looking in Ghost's face. I ain't scared. How you not scared? You don't even know who
Right.
this man is.
You don't
You're
even know,
working a
dude.
construction job,
And,
yo. What?
and then on top of this, so you ready? So this dude is ready to wife up Tasha. You ain't met the kids.
Haven't gone on a date.
Haven't gone on a real date.
And I didn't appreciate them making Tasha sound thirsty. A real date? Your man is a multimillionaire. He owned a club. You are acting like you haven't been taken out on a date before. Come on, man. Stop it. Anyway, continue.
So, and that's another thing about this Q guy. It's like you are ready, but there are some suck ass dudes who do shit like that where they ready to wife up some new girl that they like without even knowing the situation. So that's very real.
He might
Those
be
are
a
called
homosexual.
thirsty guys.
Homosexual. Maybe he needs a place to stay. He just got a daughter, he has to take care of.
I was because at first I was, what the hell's a homosexual? Oh, got it. Okay. So I'm done dragging. So any thoughts about the argument while they were at the
What with
I
Ghost
just think
and-
once
Ghost
again
and Tasha?
it's that argument there, and they also had a stare down that's gonna definitely escalate into Q getting bodied, so he's not gonna survive.
Yeah.
And Ghost was wrong if you're talking about Ghost and Tasha's argument before
about the
thing
about
Oh yeah, we skipped over the huge part of the Raina's money.
But let's so this is the thing, right? So yes, Ghost was wrong for forging Tasha's signature, but for Tasha's argument, her comeback is Raina would have wanted this, bitch, please.
Bitch, please, yeah.
So it's like, so listen, like Tasha was winning the argument until she came up with that bullshit ass logic. The reality is they both like to lie to each other and try to, get one on over each other.
Yeah.
Ghost had won that particular situation, and when Tasha came back with the whole Raina would have wanted it, you lost that argument. You had him until then.
I agree, and then Ghost also too. He said, I made all the money, so I can tell you exactly
and
what.
she cleaned the money and made sure everything
This
was
was
okay.
a team
It was
sport.
a petty ass argument. They both were.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I get his point. I'm dissolving the trust. I need that. I would have been more pissed that Ramona tried to tell me what my husband did with the money and why it was important.
Yeah.
That was a problem. I believe it was for the charity. Do you? Is that your business, though?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But,
All right, so Jason, Ghost, and Tommy. We already kind of talked a little bit about how because he's seeing dead bodies, Ghost tries to just shoot Tommy in broad daylight.
In broad daylight. Oh, and he crashed the car and he did not get affected, not one bit?
No. Let's talk about the fact that for the first 5 seasons of Power, Ghost was a dead shot. Never missed a shot.
Never missed.
Never missed a shot. All of a sudden now you're right at the ambulance window and it's bing, 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 and you hit nothing?
Can't hit
Not even a
anything.
graze?
Good point, Jim.
Is that his guilt too?
No, it's not. It's not his guilt, but I also think that with Tommy and Ghost, they want to kill each other, but they don't want to kill each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like they're shooting each other. It's like when two brothers fight, how they really fight, but they don't really try to like. Rather than sock him in the eye, you may do the jaw or you may do the chest, but when you hit the chest, you kind of hit the shoulder because you don't really want to try and take him out. Yeah. I feel like that's what Ghost.
So you're saying he's having a "this hurts me more than it'll hurt you" moment?
Sort of, kind of. It's kind of stupid. But I think like they're purposely.
They're going back and forth. They're going back and forth.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was my popcorn.
So. Okay, so now Tommy, Tariq, and Vincent.
Yes,
Jimmy.
So Tariq discovers Tommy's shipping location from his Uber, where the address exactly was, and he breaks in and steals the product. Real quick, one thing I was confused. Vincent texts Tariq saying shipment in, or he says something about pickup. So correct me if I'm wrong. So Tariq was supplying Vincent, right? Because that's what the text.
Yeah, remember.
Because
remember, this is what happened. Kanan went to Vincent. He had some stuff to sell. Kanan's now gone. Tariq went back to Vincent after that.
As Kanan.
As
you
Kanan's,
can say.
Yeah.
Okay.
to work the deal.
So Vincent finds out Tariq is the son of Ghost, which I thought was brilliant at this point. And then I really enjoyed when Vincent put hands on Tariq, because this is his first experience of the actual drug life. You know what I mean? And it gets real.
But somebody needed to put hands on Tariq.
But then the reality is, Ghost or Tommy is going to have to bail Tariq out. But then the thing is, this is Petty Pablo. How does everyone have so much? How do they have such easy access to get to that boy's school and his dormitory room? Like my parents, like when I was in college, my parents never had that much access to.
And this is high school.
That's right.
It's like so they just rolling up in there.
But Tommy goes and confronts Tariq about that, and now he says that he's another petty thing. So did you notice? Who did Tariq remind you of with the V-neck sweaters and the gold chain?
I said Mitch
Alpo?
from Paid in Full.
Okay,
but who did you say?
Alpo. Alpo and Mitch, right?
No, mine is Wesley Snipes in New Jack City.
Nino Brown.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, because at one point he had the black one on, and you know the famous scene, "Sit Your Father Out." Yeah. So, okay. So, but going back to that, with Tommy confronting Tariq, does Tommy now feel a certain way? Will he protect him like the way that he wanted to before, when it came to with him falling out with his dad?
I think he's going to protect him until he finds out that he's lying to him, and then I think things will definitely switch up at that point.
At this point, I mean, it seems like Vincent will find it seems being that Vince is trying to he wants to play both sides. It seems obvious that Vince will probably tell Tommy, or I feel like Vince is dead.
Well, here's the thing. He's going to get discovered anyway, because where's he going to get the product? Especially now he has to get double the product. You're going to hit the warehouse again? I mean, what are you going to do? It's all going to come to a head at some point, Tommy, I wonder if Tommy doesn't even realize, this is how inept I feel like his operation is. Tommy doesn't know that the stuff that you're getting back, he stole out of the warehouse. He thinks this is just stuff that he's had left over from Canaan. He doesn't even recognize that your warehouse has been hit. It's been compromised.
No, I thought he did that, which is why he went to...
He asked him where he got it from, and he said Canaan. I don't think that because it's plausible that he could have had a stash with Canaan, so I don't think he realizes that he's lying. It's just... It's sloppy business, but we're going to talk about that some more, right?
Yeah. I mean, lastly, we did see Tariq and Effie getting a little more close, and as we know, that is Tasha Jr. So
that kiss was awkward.
I think that's just all a setup once again for the sequel. So,
is there anything else? Because we talked about a lot, but I just want to make sure. Is there anything in the chat room they're saying that we didn't discuss?
Well, I can tell you one thing we didn't discuss really quickly. We did not discuss Councilman Tate getting his officers to go spy on Ghost with the little spy watching him and swooping him up and chilling in Ghost's office at Truth, like, yeah, Ghost, I'm gonna need you to straighten up.
I like that scene.
I do too.
That was a scene. That was a battle of power. Like Courtney always says, it's everybody's always struggling. So we saw Tate, and he thought he had the upper hand, and then we saw Ghost let him know, actually, I was in charge of everything. Now you put everybody else in danger, and he took the power right back.
I think that
I feel like it's gonna bounce back and forth.
I think so too at some point, because you had the other guy sitting outside watching him. So. But my only thing with this is, you remember I was saying how Ghost is sloppy with some things, but he's spot on. I feel like he has Tate in the palm of his hands. So like, just as we thought Tate was going to have control of that situation, Ghost completely got him. So I don't feel like there's anything else that Tate can do in order to outdo.
I mean, Ghost. I think here's the thing. The only thing that I think that it's not so much outdo him, but he's gaining knowledge and information that Ghost isn't quite aware that he has. So it kind of puts the situation in different hands.
Yeah.
again, we don't know. I think Ghost is gonna work his way into being a politician at some point. But we'll see.
Lorenz was actually on the Breakfast Club this morning, and during the interview, he did mention that Councilman Tate is the city council version of Ghost in the street world. So like they are of the same
two sides of
caliber,
the same coin,
just different sides here.
Okay, so now before we wrap, our this week's top AfterBuzz power moment. Roll it.
I love watching your passion. You're very, the seasons, exactly the episodes. I mean, you're so passionate about it. So I'm almost just really curious as to what your passion was when you first sold this show, or when you first created this show, rather. And did you understand what you have now on your hands? Did you know it was going to be what it is?
No, 50 did. 50 was like, oh, girl, this show is a hit. You know how 50 is. He's like, shorty, don't you worry about it. Whatever. He's very, but no, it's the first show that I ever pitched. It's the first show that I ever wrote for money. It's the first pilot I ever wrote for money. It's the first show I've ever run. So to be completely honest with you, I was just like, okay, God. I mean, I have a little sign on my desk that says, okay, God. And it's a shortened version of the Serenity Prayer or the Third Step Prayer or any of the steps from, 12-step things. But the idea is just, I'm not in control of anything. So I do my best, and then I let everything else turn it all over. So in this case, no, I didn't know. I knew I would do my best. I knew I would show up. I knew I would be passionate and that I would give it my all, and that's it. If nobody watched it and it was still the same show, so be it. I left it all on the field. That's the thing I always say. If I leave it all on the field and I still lose, there wasn't anything else I could do.
That's right, yeah.
So, and that's what I always tell younger people. I'm like, you work as hard as you can every day that you can, that you have breath, in your body, and then whatever happens is great. Either way.
Yeah.
So,
just to piggyback on that question, because we've all fallen in love with the characters, right? I mean, so many people have fallen in love.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Courtney. That was just some great inspiration, motivation after looking over a few of the clips, and I was like, that was dope. Your first pitch, and you see what came about.
6 years later.
What?
Yeah,
5 years,
5 years
from
later.
that.
Man.
Wow, that was
motivating.
very, very motivating. And other people have come up to me and they've said how they like to watch Courtney when she's here, because she's so specific. If you ask her a question, she'll tell you, oh yeah, by the way, don't you remember an episode of da 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 da? Like she
knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have any predictions before we wrap?
Q is getting bodied. That's my prediction.
Q is gonna get a body. just playing. Somebody's gonna die again next week.
As
always. Well, I don't have a prediction, but what I will say is we spoke a little bit about the Jason Missick character, and so the actor's name is Mike Dupont, and Mike Dupont will be here with us in 2 weeks on Monday, September 30th.
In the building, September 30th, y'all.
So we have some questions for him, and should be pretty exciting because there's something about his character that, I think Ghost is going to kill him. It's just a matter of when.
Also, too, watching him as an actor, he's gotten real comfortable with the character too. Like you can start to see his swag in his performance. So we're looking forward to having him in studio.
Absolutely. So we've had a great time. Let everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
Hey, it's your man Jimmy V. You can find me at the Jimmy V. And shout out to Avery for joining us this episode.
Thanks, Avery. Hope the kid needs better. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. Hit me up, share your thoughts, and maybe we'll feature you next week.
Yes, and I'm Bam Ericson. You can follow me on our social media at Bam Ericson. We want to thank our special guest Avery Mason, who plays the role of Black Grimace, and thank you to all the people in the chat room. We're looking, and it's just like, look at all these comments. It's
love
crazy.
right there. That's love right there.
You guys are growing on. D-Love, shout out to you. Track. Eric, everybody, Angelwood, thank you guys for checking us out. We'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you guys. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.